Hello, pro gamers, and welcome to Channel Nova. Today, I'm going to be bringing you the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 patch notes. They came out today, the 19th of November, 2015, on Xbox One and PS4. I'm going to be going over the PlayStation 4 patch notes, but it is pretty much the same thing across all platforms. So let's get started. What you're seeing in the background is some Black Ops 3 beta gameplay. As you can probably tell from the bottom right of the screen, it says Arc 7. I have a bunch of Black Ops 3 beta gameplay that never got used, and I probably have like 5 or 6 games, so I'm going to be using this stuff throughout the year and throughout things where I need to do like discussions and stuff too. So I have some of this already, and it's going to get used. I want to go in 36 and 7, so yeah. Let's get started here. So we'll start off with multiplayer. Leaderboards enabled in the barracks. They were enabled, but I'm guessing there's more features now. Players are now awarded crypto keys in arena and public matches after playing consecutive matches in the same playlist. Team balancing in arena and public matches have been improved to more consistently maintain even teams. Fix the UI error when entering Prestige in the multiplayer front-end menus. Adjust the UI error in file share when selecting an empty tab. Addressed an issue where hosts were able to leave as soon as the game began. Fixed an issue where white boxes were appearing for custom classes and create a class. That was a huge thing for me when I prestige carried over the M8. I had to make the class every single time. General gameplay has addressed a case where score streak kills were counting towards specialist kills for challenge completion. Fixed an issue where players could have attachments which should be locked after prestiging weapons. Players are now prevented from spawning at the same spawn point when there are high player counts in free-for-all and gun game. Address the case where players are able to spawn in after match time expired. Search and destroy kill elimination has been changed from 250 XP to 500 XP. I believe they had the same issue in Black Ops 2 for that. I don't know why they couldn't have figured it out for this game. But whatever. Cerberus score streak can no longer be destroyed by friendly teammates' power score streak. Mothership score streak will no longer count towards the hard counter challenge. For specialists, general bit here, and then we get into the actual specialists here. Specialist weapons and abilities now charge at a reduced rate over time in objective modes. Corrected text descriptions for specialist weapon multi-kills, which unlocks specialist epic. For the Outrider, vision pulse ability recharge speed has been slightly reduced. I see a lot of people using that. For the Nomad, fix an issue with the unlock requirements for the 9th helmet. Rejack ability recharge speed has been slightly increased. I guess not a lot of people are using Rejack. People probably see it's not really that useful since they nerfed it quite a bit from the beta. Hive trigger radius slightly reduced. I don't really see that many people using Hive, but whatever. For the Reaper, the Scythe has an ammo reduced from 200 to 160. For Firebreak, Heatwave ability recharge speed has been slightly increased. I think Heatwave is super overpowered. It pretty much makes you feel like you're lagging out of the game when you get hit by it, and that's just going to let people use it even more. But whatever, maybe that's just my unlucky luck. But anyway, here we go for the weapons. Getting into the good stuff, what everybody cares about. For the general bit here, long shot distance settings updated for each weapon class. Fix an issue where some damage from shotguns were getting reduced when the long barrel attachment was equipped. Fix launchers not earning weapon XP for destroying vehicles. Quick draw ADS speed for bonus for LMG slightly reduced. Alright, for SMGs, the VMP ADS time slightly increased to match other SMGs. So that means it's going to ADS slower. So that's getting a nerf there. Hipfire spread slightly increased to match other SMGs. Yet again, another nerf. So the VMP got a nerf this time. I thought it was good. I don't know if these changes are going to make it kind of unusable or like less favored. But whatever. For the Pharaoh, close damage range slightly reduced. So that means that the Pharaoh also got nerfed. Which is unfortunate. For the Razorback, the damage range has been increased, so the Razorback got a buff. Probably because nobody's using it, because it's not as good as it was in the beta. For the Assault Rifles, the KN-44, the Arc 7, as I like to call it, because that's what it was in the beta. Fix the ADS view for the iron sights when a clan tag or kill counter is attached to the weapon. For the XR2, hipfire spread increased to match other assault rifles. So another nerf, the hipfire spread is going to be larger. Minor tweak to the fire rate, doesn't say up or down, so good job. HVK 30 increased ability to control recoil, so The recoil has probably been adjusted, so it's got a slight buff there. ICR fixed an animation issue where the weapon had the Varix 3 optic and suppressor attached. M8, the fire rate has been increased, so the M8 is actually getting a buff. Fixed an issue where the iron sights when kill counter was attached, so the M8 is actually getting a buff. Slight buff to fire rate, which I don't think it needs it. It's already amazing as it is, especially with the red dot sight, but Treyarch must know what they're doing. Okay, for shotguns, KRM 262 increased lethal range, so the KRM gets a buff. Haymaker 12 fire rate and damage range slightly reduced, so the Haymaker's getting a decent nerf this time. So fire rate goes down, and the damage range has gone down. For the Argus, ADS time increased, close range damage increased. So it's getting a nerf and a buff for the Argus, so it's going to take longer to ADS, but that can kind of be countered by a quick draw. And the close range damage has been increased, so it's going to do more damage up close. LMGs, the BRM ADS speed is slightly reduced, so the BRM is going to aim in faster. For the Dingo, increased ability to control recoil. So it's going to be a little bit easier to control your recoil. For the Gorgon, clip size reduced from 50 to 40, so it's getting a slight nerf there. ADS time has been slowed down, so it's getting a decent nerf so far, and there's still more stuff. No longer deals extra damage to vehicles without FMJ. Increased recoil, increased hip fire spread. So the Gorgon is pretty much, it's gotten 5 nerfs. So I was under the impression that the Gorgon was doing just fine, people. It wasn't like overpowered, but it seems like they're trying to pretty much make this LMG unusable because of all of this stuff. But you really shouldn't be hip firing it. The recoil was fine. I know it was really low, but it was fine. I don't know if it's like crazy out of control now. But moving on, the 48 Dredge fixed magazine count on extended mags. This was previously ending on 1 bullet, but then playing a 6-round burst audio when the last bullet was fired. Slightly increased the ADS time, so that means it's going to aim in slower. The Elcar, close range damage slightly reduced, so Elcar gets a nerf. Thermite, thermite grenade, damage rate reduced. Now takes longer to be killed by thermite. So the thermite got nerfed. It's just a nerf fest. Except for the M8, which is already an amazing weapon. This doesn't make any sense to me. Whatever. Okay, I'm just going to move on. For the arena, players now prevented from joining a post-match lobby. All banned items now being correctly displayed. Are now correctly being restricted while in game. For challenges, just issues with hard counter, actionable intel, anti-up, fast earner, bypass security, hard counter, destroyer defenders, assault, steady aim, and focus challenges. These should now unlock and track progress correctly. For medals will all display in their respective sorted category in the medal section of the barracks. Fixed issues for tag and bag, surprise attack, GI unit kill, and silent killer medals not populating in the barracks. Fixed issues with your done and shutdown medals. These will now be awarded correctly. The extraneous secure point medal displayed in the medal section has been removed. For maps, Exodus, fix an exploit where players are able to mantle into an unintended area of one of the buildings. Fringe, fix an issue where players are able to mantle in an unplayable space in Fringe. I know exactly what that's talking about because I've been in it. For Nuketown, address exploit spot involving a wall in one of the buildings and improve Cerberus scorch-streak pathing on the second floor of the houses. Address an issue where players are able to stand outside of the map boundaries. Players no longer able to shoot through a wall on the second floor of one of the buildings. Fix an exploit where players were able to stand on a ledge under one of these second floor windows. Players can no longer wedge themselves in between a tower and one of the high walls. Fix an issue with dead player models outside of the white fenced area. Safeguard robot will no longer get stuck outside north garage when attempting to path towards the north goal. Fix 2 exploits where player could see into spawns as well as shoot players through glass. Fixed an issue with max number of bots during free-for-all or TDM. For zombies, it addressed exploits in Shadows of Evil and Giant. Fixed matchmaking issue where players are able to enter lobbies when they were already full. Addressed various areas where zombies would not path to players. Players would not be rewarded with Dark Ops calling card when they prestige. For the campaign, players can now equip custom paint jobs in the armory. Players can now use Weapon Builder to access Gunsmith Paint Shop in the campaign safe houses and address stability issues. And that is everything for the patch notes this time around. All in all, I don't think that I don't like them. They nerfed a lot of good things, and I thought the guns were pretty balanced. Now I feel like people are going to start favoring things. Pretty much all of the good guns. I mean, all of the guns are really good to begin with, in my opinion. Not really like a terrible gun. And now the VMP's kind of gotten taken down a bit because it's no longer as fast as it used to be. And just some other guns like the Gorgon, whatever. Nobody likes the Gorgon. I'm happy with it. But the M8 gets a buff of all guns. Like the most overpowered gun in the game gets a buff. But whatever, I can't argue with Trek. Nothing I do is going to change it. So, but that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will leave a link to the patches in the description. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Have a nice day. Keep pro gaming. Bye.